Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm one of the nurse practitioners at Kaiser Positive Choice, and today I'm going to be doing a brief medical overview on the full and modified meal replacement program. You will receive a program guide that will have more details to follow. We do offer both a full and modified fast. The full fast is with a product called Numetra. It's going to be 5 meal replacements per day. We do have shakes, soups, and bars. You have to have at least 3 shakes per day. The other two you can kind of play around with if you want some variety. Certain medical conditions do require that you have either a soup or bouillon per day. Um, so the 5 meal replacements per day would be the full fast. If you're on a modified fast, you would be on 5 meal replacements per day plus added lean protein, vegetables, and leafy greens off of a specified meal plan. During your medical clearance appointment, your provider will discuss with you whether it would be appropriate for you to do the full or the modified fast. Once you start the fast, you will be on the Numetra product, which is 160 calories per meal replacement, 5 meal replacements per day. So if you're doing the full fast, that works out to about 800 calories per day. We have a variety of different flavors available, and we're adding new flavors all the time. Currently, for shakes, we're offering chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and mocha. For soups, we're offering creamy chicken and the tortilla soup. And then the bars that we're offering currently are caramel cocoa, cinnamon, and fudge graham. How do meal replacements work? So, the meal replacements do provide all of the necessary vitamins and minerals that you need, with the exception of they have very little potassium. For that reason, we will likely prescribe you a potassium supplement if deemed medically necessary in your medical clearance appointment. The meal replacements have high quality protein that helps you to preserve your lean muscle mass. Calorie deficit means that you're using the fat stores that you have built up for fuel during this period of time. Eating off of plan may interfere with this process. It can slow down your fat burning and it may increase your appetite. It's important to consume the full 5 meal replacements every day. If you are not eating all of your meal replacements, you can jeopardize your health. Some tips for success while you're in this weight loss program. To feel your best, it's important to be consistent. Never skip a meal replacement. Try to space them out 3 to 4 hours apart throughout the day so you're not going any prolonged period of time without eating or drinking anything. If you are prescribed a potassium supplement, it's important to separate it from your fiber by at least 2 hours. If you take the fiber and the potassium together, that can actually change the absorption. It's important to stay hydrated. If you have certain medical conditions, you may have a different prescribed fluid intake. But for most patients, we recommend 120 to 150 ounces of fluid every day while you're in this program. And that includes everything that you're mixing with your shakes and soups. If you're feeling extra hungry, it's okay to take a sixth meal replacement and just discuss that with your lifestyle educator or with the medical team. Potassium is required for most people that are in the meal replacement program. You will get a medical clearance letter that will prescribe you which dose to take and how many times per day you'll be taking your potassium supplement. If you were taking potassium prior to being in the meal replacement program, your dose may be adjusted, and this will be addressed during your medical clearance appointment. The potassium goes along with the shakes, so do not start the shakes without taking the potassium. Once you start the shakes, you start the potassium. If you were to stop the shakes for whatever reason, you stop potassium at the same time. If you were prescribed potassium for another reason by your primary care provider, once you come off the fast, please discuss with them what dose would be appropriate for you to continue taking. Potassium needs to be separated from your fiber supplement by at least 2 hours in order to ensure absorption. If you're a KP member, you can pick your potassium prescription up from any Kaiser pharmacy. If you're a non KP member, you can let us know during your medical clearance appointment your pharmacy of choice, and we will e prescribe that for you. The meal replacements do have very little fiber content, but fiber is an important part of your daily requirements. It's important for gut health. It helps with your bowels. You will need to take a fiber if you are on the full or modified fast. We do sell a fiber supplement at Kaiser that's called Nutrisource, so you can purchase it through us. You'll have an entire page on different fiber options available in your program guide. Some of those options include benefiber, psyllium husks, flaxseed, chia seed, bran. Anything that is sugar free and low calorie may be used as a fiber supplement. You can take 2 to 4 tablespoons of fiber in any combination. Like I said, there is more details in your booklet, and do not take your potassium and fiber at the same time. If you have certain medical conditions, you may be required to have a little bit extra sodium in your diet while you're on this program. Because of that, in your medical clearance, we will let you know whether or not it is required to have 1 to 2 soup or bouillon per day. If you're using one of the meal replacement soups, that would count as one of your 5 meal replacements. If you're having a bouillon, that would be in addition to your 5 meal replacements. We do have a bouillon that we sell that may be purchased through Positive Choice. Weekly medical check ins are required while you are in this program. Since you're being medically monitored, you'll be required to come into the clinic for a check in once a week. We will record your weight and any other vitals if needed. Labs are typically every 2 weeks unless something is abnormal, in which case we may check it a little more frequently. But it is important to attend your medical check ins and lab draws. If you're overdue for labs and miss 3 consecutive lab draws, you will be withdrawn from the program and you'll have to pay a re enrollment fee to re enter. Because you are medically monitored while in this program, we do not permit travel outside of the country while you're in the program. We do allow travel within the United States, and you can stay on product, but just be sure that you communicate with both the medical team and your counselor if you are going to be traveling. So that way we can arrange to get your labs drawn ahead of time before you leave. And whether or not you'll miss class, you would communicate with your counselor. If you do miss 3 consecutive classes, you'll also be withdrawn from the program. So communication is really key. Just make sure you're getting those labs done before you travel and communicate with us. Physical activity is an important part of your success, and we do encourage mild to moderate physical activity while you're in the program. Ideally, a combination of cardio and weight training is advised. Strength training is really an important piece of being on this very low calorie diet. If you are on a big calorie restriction, you will lose weight, but we'd like you to lose your fat mass and preserve your lean muscle mass. The way that you preserve your lean muscle mass is through strength training, which can either be done with resistance bands or light weights, whichever works for you. If you need some ideas on strength training, we do have videos on positivechoice.org. You can also speak with your counselor or the medical team for resources. You may experience constipation while on meal replacements. Ideally, we would like you to have one soft formed stool per day. If you go greater than 3 days without having a bowel movement, then we would want you to talk with the medical team. Hydration is really important in mitigating constipation. We do recommend that 120 to 150 ounces of fluid per day, unless directed otherwise by the medical team. Physical activity, the more that you are active and moving, that will help decrease your risk of constipation. You can take an over the counter stool softener or laxative such as Colace, Senna, Miralax as needed. But if you're requiring it every day, that would be a reason to speak with the medical team. If you do have any constipation accompanied by severe abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, rectal bleeding, drastic changes in your bowel habits, that would be a reason to seek prompt medical attention, either at like a urgent care or the emergency room. And fiber also can help with your constipation. So we do recommend that fiber supplement for everybody that's in the program. Sugar-free items can cause gas and discomfort. So try to avoid those if you're experiencing increased gas. But once again, if you have any concerns about your constipation, feel free to reach out to the medical team and we can discuss your specific condition. You probably will experience increased urination while you're in this program due to the amount of liquids that we require. The product itself has a lot of protein and very little carbs, so that kind of acts as a natural diuretic. which is part of the reason for the increased urination. If you are finding this bothersome, have less fluids later in the day after 4 p.m. to try to prevent you from being up all night with urination. You can try to add a little bit less water to the shakes and take it as a pudding later in the day if you're having that issue. And if you're struggling with getting your full hydration in or you have any other further concerns, please feel free to talk with the medical team. If you experience any unusual symptoms, please make sure that you reach out to the medical staff. Dizziness or fatigue, if you're experiencing those, make sure that you're avoiding extreme heat, that you are hydrating, getting your fluids in. You can add in a bouillon if you're not already using it. If you're having nausea or vomiting, we do really worry about electrolyte imbalances. So that would be a big reason to reach out and call the medical staff. General aches and pains, it's okay for you to take ibuprofen or Tylenol while you're in this program, unless you have been directed not to by your primary care physician for some other medical reason. Over the counter cold medications, unless you've been instructed not to by your primary care physician, are also okay to take. We just recommend that you would take a sugar free one while you're in this program. Heartburn, over the counter Maalox, Mylanta, also okay to take while you're in this program. But for any concerning symptoms not resolved by over the counter medications or anybody that's experiencing nausea and vomiting, we really want you to reach out to the medical team and have a chat with us. Hunger is something that you may experience while you're in this program. You may feel hungry at first. Most people actually feel less hunger and more energy while they're in ketosis. It's important not to skip meal replacements and to kind of space them out throughout the day so you're not going any prolonged period of time without eating or drinking anything. If you're feeling extremely hungry, it is okay to have that sixth meal replacement and then just touch base with your counselor or the medical team. Let us know. Hydration, make sure that you're getting that 120 to 150 ounces of fluid in per day unless otherwise directed by the medical team. It is common to notice an increase in cravings and hunger while you're doing a highly restrictive caloric diet. And if you are experiencing those increased cravings, please reach out to both your counselor and the medical team and let us know. We can kind of talk you through that. It's normal also to feel hungry once you start the transition period towards the end of the program. Once you start introducing more food, you may feel hunger during that period of time. Again, please just reach out to your counselor and medical staff for any concerns, and we can kind of talk you through it. Some people do experience bad breath or ketosis breath. While you're in ketosis, one way that we get rid of ketones is through breathing. Okay, so you might get some of that fruity breath while you are in this program. It's important to do good oral hygiene, brush your teeth at least twice a day. If you're experiencing dry mouth, you can use a mouth rinse such as Biotine to help to mitigate that. You can use sugar free gums and mints, but we try to say limit that to no more than 4 per day. Also, drink water after your meal replacements. While you're medically monitored and a part of this program, we may adjust some of your medications. Big ones that we adjust: diabetes medication. We will likely either decrease or stop some of your diabetes medications as you are on lower carbohydrates, lower calories, and you're losing weight. Many people require less medications. We're going to monitor you very closely. We usually have you check your blood sugar twice a day. Give us a call if it's less than 70 or over 300, and we may adjust it periodically throughout the program based on what your blood sugars do. You may see increased blood sugars early on in the program that may stabilize, but again, we're going to monitor you very closely throughout the program and make those adjustments as needed. Blood pressure medications, a lot of times as people lose large amount of weight, their blood pressure becomes better controlled. If that happens and your blood pressure is decreasing, we may decrease or stop some of your blood pressure medications at that time. Diuretics, we really worry a lot about electrolyte imbalances in this program. We monitor your electrolytes very closely at least every 2 weeks. We may either decrease or stop your diuretics once you start this program. Supplements. We generally have you stop a multivitamin once you start in the program. The exception for that would be if you have had bariatric surgery. We do want you to continue your bariatric vitamin for life. But everybody else, typically your basically going to consume a multivitamin through the shake. So we would have you just set that aside while you're in the program. Once you come off of product, you can certainly restart it. Things that are okay to continue while you're in the program would be your turmeric, vitamin C, calcium, vitamin D, glucosamine, fish oil. If you're taking any of those are all okay and safe to continue while you're in the program. Any other supplements that you may be taking, please just touch base with the medical team and we can give you some direction whether or not to continue taking those. Lastly, please just stay connected with the medical team. At any point during your weekly check in, you can request to speak with a nurse practitioner or physician assistant, and we can meet with you. You can also call the medical line. We are available on the medical line Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30, to address any of your medical concerns that you may have. If it's after hours or on the weekend and you're having any urgent concerns, that would be a reason to utilize urgent care or the emergency department. And if you need a private consultation with the medical team, you can schedule a session. Thank you for joining us and good luck on your weight loss journey. We're here for you every step of the way.